In regards to temperature, what do you mean? Was it too warm, too cold?
Yeah, too warm for a Finnish guy. Didn't shoot as good as yesterday, but made a couple big putts and was out of trouble, so it's enough.
Guys felt really good. Was hitting a lot of lines, didn't find any OB, which really helps out here. Circle 2 putting was really bad, so I'm gonna hit the putting green after this.
All these big ball golf courses, you know, especially where you're shaping lines, I feel like that's one of my fortes is throwing far and being able to control the angle and control the flex. Hoping to just keep what I've got going on right now going.
Feels good, but it's also a lot of pressure. I did something very similar just a couple weekends ago at Vegas where I had 7 strokes on the field after 2 rounds in a 4-round event. Didn't necessarily like choke it away, but also didn't play my best golf and end up losing by a stroke there. I've always played the East course a little bit better than the West course, so that's a good feeling.
My chances to score are pretty good. I have a good game plan over there and I'm confident at the moment.
That track is one of my favorite courses, I think, of all time. Every year, one of my favorite courses to play. So I'm very, very excited to have a chance to chase Gannon down, it looks like.
Hello and welcome to round 3 coverage from the 2024 Portland Open presented by Latitude 64. We're moving over to the East Course and you're watching JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
Send it over there, buddy. We've got a pretty dominant performance through 2 rounds. Gannon Buhr matching his 10 under course record performance in round 1 with another 10 under performance in round 2 on the West Course. 10 under is pretty hard to imagine on the West Course, so to do it twice, it's just clear control. That man has everything just firing it on cylinders. 95% C1X, man, I thought he was 100%, but maybe that spit out then get on 11? Okay. Drew Gibson also really playing super consistent. 8 under first round, 6 under second round. I mean, aside from 2 silly putts he missed during round 2, it's been really solid. Nate, you played with him first round, said he couldn't miss a putt, so that has been a big time strength for him through the first 2 rounds. And we have another debut performance on the Elite Series. Joona Heinänen from Finland, the man his friends call Papa, 33 years old, and they call him Grandpa. Not cool. Anyhow, we have Isaac Robinson here playing on the East Course, one of his favorite courses in the world, really at one of the events that put him on the map a few years ago. Obviously go on to win 2 major championships last season. We haven't seen as much of him this year. Excited to have him back on the lead card.
So let's get started here over at East. Hole 1, par 4, 670. You saw the way that the drone was flying. Clear the bunker and the green, moving right, out of bounds deep, left, and early right. So it takes a specific Anheuser to get in position if you want to get there.
Iowa, sponsored by Discmania. This year's winner of the Waco Open, the Memorial, and the 2022 United Disc Golf Champion. Give it up to Gannon Buhr!
And then you get to go to the green, and there's a slope, and there's OB right behind it, and OB to the left.
Gannon feeling the wind out, deciding not to go back in Anheuser, going forehand instead. And that was great. That is a lot of forward distance for also having hyzer angle out of the hand.
Next on the team,
Great shot.
representing Finish Line Disc Golf, out of Santan Valley, Arizona, this year's North Texas Open champion and the 2019 Portland Open champion. Give it up for Drew Gibson!
Some fresh white dunks right there for Drew, man. This has got to be coming from the Nike store. This is
Needs to hold the turn.
Yeah, just kind of stop turning at the wrong point. Needs to keep moving right the whole way, and Jerm knows it. It's going to be out of bounds early. Good distance, though.
Open champion, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs, all the way from Kerava, Finland. Make some noise for Joona Heinänen.
Big power with this guy.
Yeah, we got to see a good bit of him yesterday. Excited to see him play this East course with his big arm. And look at this.
Whoa.
Jackknifing, huge Anheuser.
Must be fading out the way he dropped his head.
Yeah, that is a... He cooked that. Yeah, it's out of bounds, but you see a lot right there in his ability.
Your current 20th anniversary Savannah Open champion and your 2023 world champion, sponsored by Prodigy, Isaac Robinson.
Currently winning this week's challenge of who the best who the best Robinson brother is.
It's a big challenge.
Ezra's not making it easy this season.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's really far, too. I mean, that's just a phenomenal shot.
Drew able to see the basket over the spectator rope. High, wide hyzer.
Come on, back.
Yeah, that's good.
Ooh, watch that flag, Bubba. Enough to give a player a heart attack there.
Yeah. There's OB on the green now. I didn't know about that one.
Gannon doesn't get the ante on it, and it costs him.
Yeah, that's a much longer putt than you'd like, going down the hill on hole 1.
Less than good.
If you have a big lead, do you lay that up, Nate? That's my question.
No, I don't think so. Not with 36 to play.
Okay.
How about you?
No. Maybe a soft little guy, though.
Yeah, you don't want to run it out of bounds or anything, but you can't protect the lead with 36 holes left. Got to keep growing that guy.
Big tee shot, able to just pitch up from there. Gives that a pretty spicy run. That came in with a lot of speed, but Gannon knows that his miss is on the pole, just high or low, and that time just misses it a bit low.
Good save there for Drew. Kind of a nice nestle down that hill. Good looking stroke. I've never seen Joona on the coverage, so I'm excited for this round. Good start.
A little bit surprising to see just one birdie on this hole from the lead group. Not the hardest par 4.
Yeah, it's not the hardest par 4, but it is it's a tricky tee shot to get one in bounds and get distance.
Calvin Heimberg, hole 3. Stops short. Probably going to be a 40-footer.
Has a little red on the card there.
Got more green than red now.
Over to Wysocki on the 4th. Roller coming. Needs to just stay straight and then start to hook. This might be a little short of the pin. No, does hit the big tree.
Pretty common for rollers to get tripped up by any one of these big trees on the green. It's also a 40-footer right in the heart as Ricky straddles out to the right.
It had some extra distance if it wanted it too.
6-shot lead for Buhr. Colredallen hot start. 5 under through 6. Looking at hole 2, this one breaks right the whole way. Out of bounds straight ahead of you. Sand trap if you overcook it. We're going to this second basket right around the corner there. So it's a small green. Big forehand, I think, the best play. But certainly the backhand turnover also workable.
Are you going wide around the trees, or are you going down the gut?
Gut.
I think it's a gut shot for the forehand.
But what about that? Do you think it's a gut shot for the backhand?
I think so.
Looks like it.
Look at that.
Oh, no.
Unbelievably bad break. Just a glancing blow just immediately redirects the Anheuser.
Yeah, that was wild. Everybody on my card did this.
This is in danger of OB. I think you go around that tree with speed. You're unlikely to be able to hook it back.
Oh,
So close.
I think you might have nicked it.
And comes up in the 50-foot neighborhood.
Interesting.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to have the want
At
to get
all.
the birdie.
At all. Yeah, really safe play.
I wonder if that is an intentional game plan strategy there for Joona.
It's either that or just a huge shank. So I tend to think it's the former. It's got to be a layup because
I think he
just
missed
don't
his
see him
height.
missing it that bad.
I think if you get it higher, he could be in the 40-foot range.
All right, guys, we're on the speculation business, and I got to go ahead and put my hands up and come clean. I asked Gannon Buhr, was he intentionally trying to make the mandatory on hole 10? Pretty sure I knew that the answer was yes, and he admitted he was not trying.
He's
to
trying
make
to
the
play
mandatory.
around the
Yes.
right tree.
Yes, he
Okay.
Ulibarri is right.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll give you the fist bump.
Thanks.
Nicely done.
Isaac?
I was shocked. It seems so intentional the way he delivered it the second time.
Cleans up the bogey just a little off. He said he was struggling with circle 2, and that one didn't look like it was getting any better.
Yeah, just left, and I don't want to say lazy, but just didn't seem like the Isaac Robinson that we saw a lot last year. It was very crisp delivery on those C2 putts, coming in with a lot of steam.
I mean, certainly weeks at a time last season where I would have put Isaac even potentially above Gannon in his effectiveness from circle 2. So taking a little step back from where we saw him in that World Championship form.
Ricky with a short drive on 7, having to go uphill, crazy amount.
Yeah, that's so far.
Yeah, that's an incredible shot to get him here.
Huge capitalization. Ricky 4 under through 7 now. Moving day. Who has a better moving day percentage than Ricky Wysocki? He is just always coming after it. Doesn't matter where he is. He could be 10 strokes out of cash. He is coming for blood.
4-shot lead. Things tightening up just a bit. Looking at hole 3, slightly uphill 370, couple gaps available to you. Maybe forehand flex, maybe a little backhand down this right side, trying to swing it back. And I'm just kind of struck by thinking, I've done my fair share of complaining about some of the course design out here. I haven't played particularly well, but when I see these visuals and see these trees, and I can so easily remember a time when I wouldn't even have been able to imagine our sport shutting down a facility like this for a week. And us having the free reign of this place. And look at all those spectators and just the growth that the three of us have been able to see in our time.
Cool way to reflect on.
I think this one makes me feel it, more than a lot, just because this is just such an epic property. It would have been unthinkable not that long ago for that disc golf could take advantage of this land. Great shot from Joona.
Well put. Yeah, Joona with a good effort. Or good drive, I should say, at the edge of the circle, putting back 32.5 feet.
It would have been hilarious if we did get the opportunity back then and they just put us here on these holes. And we shot all, like the winning score was like 2 under.
I don't think we would have been able to handle this. 2008 Disc Golf Pro Tour would have, or Disc Golf National Tour back then.
And it isn't even a skill thing. I mean, it's a little bit of skill thing, but I think more than anything, it's just change needs to be slow.
Yep.
And the courses have gotten unquestionably incredibly much more difficult than they were in 2008 or back even a few years ago.
Yeah.
But if you try to make that change overnight, it would be breaking people for sure.
Yeah.
Gannon now with the bogey on 2.
Yeah.
And the missed approach and putt on 1. And now the tree hit on 3. Off to certifiably a slow start.
Yeah, and he was the one to bring it up in the interview that Las Vegas, you jumped out to that incredible lead, shooting 1080s, looked untouchable, and ended up
no.
dirty.
Oh boy. Epaoni.
A little high, but man, that ought to hold. Anyway, Gannon did not have it in that 3rd round. Brought a lot of people back into the conversation, and ultimately it was Connor Rock who got it done and won that tournament. So maybe that's in his head a little bit as well. I think he needs to. Well, clearly it is. He wants to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Connor with a 14 under final
Incredible,
round, too.
1090 rated round, 1090 something, I believe.
It's just seizing the day for Connor Rock, and obviously Gannon gave him an opportunity. He kind of struggled a little bit, self-admittedly, during the 3rd round. But yeah, you got to give. When somebody shoots a 1090 rated round, the final round,
Of course.
take your hat off and you say, you outplayed me. Good job, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the lead is. It's going to be hard to hold off that.
Hole 4, par 3, 450. Big roller around the outside is probably the most common play here. You could get big turnover there potentially, and you sometimes do see people play low up the middle. This basket pretty well protected by the giant maple tree. See what these guys have for us.
A couple sidearms can get there too.
Even the maples are huge out here, man. It's like you don't make the cut unless you're the biggest of your variety.
I was talking to Anthony Burrell. He said, "Yeah, I got it with a sidearm."
I saw it.
I
saw
like,
it
what?
with my own eyes from one Jake Wolf.
This needs to
today
flip, and this is fantastic.
Yeah, that so much trust with Isaac out of the hand. Put a ton of cut on that drive, and it just hugged the OB line, rolled in. It's really exactly what you want. Can only improve by a few degrees.
Ooh, this is very high. Typically, that means it's going to rip to the right.
And just gets tripped up. I think that was going to do that like quick wrap-up thing in the bullseye.
I think it was going to hit the base of the basket. Yeah, that was tracking really nice.
Here's that low ceiling ripper play.
Needs to hit.
Yeah, got to stop. Oh, that might have been a good tree.
Yeah.
If that skips big, certainly out of bounds waiting for you.
That play impresses me so much. Ceiling so low to carry that 450.
Especially when there's all this sky over here.
So much sky. Gannon out really wide. That one cuts back. Yeah, he's got to look for birdie. Would love to knock that down.
Hitting metal for sure.
That's a bold guess there, Paul, from 38 feet coming for the best putter in the world.
Guy's 50 feet, dude.
Yeah, I think he's more like 50.
You're right.
This one probably won't hit me.
The only way he can make it would be straddling out the other direction with the Anheuser, but that's not really.
Oh, is that metal?
How are we going to count that?
I don't think that's a plastic or something.
This is almost 60 feet.
Oh, close as it gets.
So another par.
And another left side miss for Isaac. will be his first par of the round.
This is just a really hard birdie to get.
It is.
A little breezy out there at times as well.
28 birdies on the day.
Oh, wow.
25%. So usually one per
Pretty
card.
good. Pretty good. I
We
think
kind of thought maybe that was going to be Isaac on this card.
I think another thing worth mentioning, the word swirling around the course is that Sunday's weather is going to be atrocious. And I think people are aware of that, and I think position, people are realizing that this is a chance to score, a chance to separate, build maybe a little lead, and try to hang on in what's going to be some pretty tough conditions, most likely, for our final day. Wysocki, downhill, 500 feet on the 8th.
After that huge birdie on 7, he backs it up with a huge birdie on 8, 500-foot par 3, and nails the Anheuser flex line and the putt from C2.
Already 3 outside the circle for Ricky. That's a scary thing.
You bet your butt. Niklas Antila creeping up the leaderboard. Paul Macbeth creeping up the leaderboard. Kyle Klein. Moving day is bringing out the movers and the shakers, and that could be a scary thing if you're Gannon Buhr, who is 1 over through 4.
Yeah, this one is like a mover and a shaker for sure.
Certainly one of the signature holes on this property, one of the ones you think of with that huge downhill drive. Then you have decisions to make on shot 2. Are you going to go over that pond? Are you going to play for par and play it a little short if you're out of position? Expect to see all these guys letting one fly. I think the worst thing that could happen in this group is a sandy landing off this tee shot.
And it's a little bit of a tail left to right for these guys. Pushing these drives a little bit longer. Got to account for it. Got to account for it.
Oh, man.
That's far.
It's far, and you don't necessarily need far. You need to be left.
And you don't want to be like in the very front of the sand because he's going to have no run up at all.
It's going to be awful.
This one's moving.
That's
over to the left. I like that spot.
It's a great place to be.
Really good. Opens up the angle.
Love this one as well. Over there to the left. Oh, really?
Oh,
Why would you say that, Paul?
Gosh.
Why would, all of a sudden it was going so straight. I didn't know.
It was cruising. This is what you're looking for.
Looks the same. How am I supposed to know?
Out of his hand, I felt like that had no chance of being anything but 50 feet left of the bunkers. He would have had to turn over late down the flight, which I guess is possible.
Okay, stand still, back foot high. Still going.
Yeah, that is such an aggressive move from Isaac. That's saying I am not going to give up a chance at par.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is a bold run.
This is just a flawless drive. So much room to the right to swing in your stable disc into the hillside. That's exactly what he does.
Perfect.
Can you call this a pond? I feel like this is Cappuccino Creek right here, man.
Well, it has no flow and edges and ends. So
And no
know, it
cappuccino.
yeah, there's no cappuccino. So yeah, I guess I would say pond.
I hate it, but Gannon Buhr tracking behind the basket, nearly finding out of bounds long. Joona looking to put one close.
Not to pick on Joona and Isaac, they're getting picked on by the course, but I really feel like it's a very bad mistake to throw it in those bunkers with all the room to the left.
Yeah,
A lot of, you could just throw it high, it goes left.
sure.
Yeah. And Joona with 2 OBs and a missed putt. He will be taking a double bogey now.
Because being in that bunker is like the footing you saw.
It's awful. Now Isaac to save the par. No, he chains out. Has not figured out the putt. It's still becoming an issue for him. And the first birdie of the round for Gannon comes on hole 5. Solid putt.
And such a scary putt for your first birdie. You're kind of slacking a little bit, and then you're like, of course I have a 40-footer right at the water, the Cappuccino Valley.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Drew just can't get on the board yet. 5 pars in a row.
I think he thought that he hit that one pretty good.
That was a little left.
Oh, man. His putt is really out of sorts at the moment. You can tell he's just...
I think it's the number one thing that has kept him from doing exactly what we were expecting from him last year all season.
Yeah.
He's lead card every event. Didn't matter what course, what style we were playing, long, wooded, didn't matter. Isaac Robinson was always there. And this year, I think his putt is costing him upwards of 3 to 4 strokes around if this is a common result.
Yeah.
He's still throwing the disc exactly as we always expect him to, just right down the middle nearly every time.
Can't last forever, the putting slump. I'm sure he'll
the peaks and valleys.
rediscover that shortly, hopefully today. Hole 6, par 3, 415, pretty obstructed. I think the best line is sort of a flex backhand. Force it over a little bit as a righty, swing it back with a skip. This guy is very adept at that particular shot, and he's going to show us right now. That little bit of flex over stable disc. If there was a signature Gannon Buhr shot, I would say it is that one. And I think he's going to like that result.
I think it's like nearly the same shape on this one, hole 8 and 14. Like each one, you're trying to force it out to the right with a speedy disc.
Sure.
I think one of the things about this shot that is so scary that we should probably say is that mandatory on the right.
Yes.
Throwing a flex shot, the miss is a pull.
Yeah, if you grip
and
it.
it's a thin that mandatory is about 220 feet in front of you. So they're making it look easy, but I guarantee it's in their head. If I pull this a little too much.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a great shot. It would have been nice for it to be 3 feet shorter, 4 feet farther, one of the two, just get around that last obstacle tree.
I pulled out a driver, went to throw the flex. Last second, thought about that Mando. I threw it straight in that poof tree straight ahead.
Yeah.
It's all because I'm scared of that grip lock.
Yeah.
A great shot from Joona. He might be able to get on the board for the first time. Try to start erasing that double bogey from hole 5.
Yeah, so even though it looks like such an easy shot they're throwing, it's actually more of a tunnel than a wide open shot right there.
And you could tell.
Oh, boy.
He thought he missed that.
Yeah.
Just a outside edge catch.
Yeah, that was
shaking his head.
Pulling right. That was not on the pole, but hey, a birdie's a birdie.
And it can be something like that starts it. I feel like when you are having a tough putting day, it's kind of rare that you just then get the perfect stroke all of a sudden. You make one money. Like you kind of make one ugly and you start to find your way back, you know?
It's kind of weird in that way. Like why don't you just stripe one when you're on a bad
Because you're a
putting
nervous wreck.
Yeah,
at the moment.
It's because of your
Like,
mind.
Yeah, because you're a nervous wreck and you're worried about all the things that could happen instead of just focusing on what you want to happen.
Niklas Antel all the way up on 8th card on hole 14.
Fantastic positioning off the drive.
He is currently tied for 2nd all the way from 8th card, playing an incredible round. Oh, right side and in.
Cool catch.
Only a matter of time before Niklas Antel got back into the competition, I feel like. Every event, he's got something to say.
He's coming off a huge win on the Silver Series just last week. Going back up the hill on 7, par 4, 680, early mandatory on the left, a little bit later mandatory on the right. It's a tough shot. You got to go low ceiling, way up this hill. Backhand power shot, backhand roller, I think even forehand roller a possibility. It's so important to get up the hill because you still have a lot of distance to cover. So if you're on that uphill run up, pretty hard to hit it with enough pace and hyzer to swing in at this basket.
Yeah, there's a little dirt spot that you see. If you can hit that, you'll get the slide. If you're short of that, you're not going to get as much slide. Not as much slide.
Not as much slide and
A lot of slide, actually.
Great, yeah.
But it went left.
well, yeah, the left part makes the next shot so tricky.
Yeah, he'll either have to go up the middle or a roller, or that's about it. We saw Ricky kind of get up there from shorter, though. There's the nice little push straight.
And that difference in angle between Isaac and Gannon's tee shots, that's a pretty big difference, I feel like.
So give us a good idea of the power that Joona has. I think just a little one pop.
Zap.
Look.
Oh, it broke a stump in half.
That was a full tree 2 days ago, but Joona's practice round cut it down, and now he's chopping at it some more.
Here's the roller. Screaming up the hill.
That is big. That is so good. And Drew might even be able to see the basket from there, which is a huge advantage.
Still can get there from here with his power.
Definitely. This is a good spot.
I don't like that.
Pretty
how wide it is, though.
Yeah, a little too wide, I think. Pretty good skip. Yeah.
Great skip.
Outside circle, maybe. Just a
We were barely right.
Yeah. So this is turning it into a little bit more of a tunnel shot.
Skip in.
That shot was just so high level. Just a great throw.
Yeah, it's like that deserves a sheesh, you know?
Yeah, somebody should have said it. Sheesh.
Hey, that's a great
Nice.
shot there. Sneaks along the back.
Isaac will have that for his 4th birdie through 7 holes. Even with the missed putts, he's still right there, man. He's playing very well. He's giving himself opportunities. And after Drew's killer drive, he leaves himself 45 feet for the birdie.
Would hate to give this one away after a great drive like that.
No kidding.
And you're thinking that. And that's why you do that.
Yeah, and finally Drew gets on the board, and you got to wonder if all the pars he had taken thus far in the round were starting to build up in his head and thinking, man, am I going to give up another one? Not this time. Puts it on the spot that he's been putting so well from. Just that little straddle hot putt. Another left side miss this round for this card. We've seen so many of them so far.
It's 3 in a row. Not the easy ones either. One semi-easy. This one up the hill's tough to get to.
Nothing easy at either one of these courses. Do you think?
There aren't very many holes you could call easy, but
Compared to how hard the other ones are.
compared to some of the other ones,
Sure.
yeah. So obviously, there's going to be that easier holes.
Yeah, like 6 is way easier to get.
I just
to
think
this
that's what's so crazy about Gannon's 22 under. He's got 3 bogeys. He's got, well, he doesn't have 20. He's 23 birdies and 2 eagles.
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
wild.
Each one of those are great birdies. There's no gimmies on either property. You have to earn each and every stroke.
3 bogeys is not a lot of bogeys out here, by
That's
the way.
not a lot of bogeys. It's not. It's very clean disc golf.
This one got shortened up a little bit from years past. It was actually kind of an easy hole. as we talked about, there not being easy holes. This one used to be kind of an easy hole. It was a short par 4, and now we're playing to the shorter basket of the two, 500-foot par 3. Best gap, up the middle, a little bit of turn with the righty backhand, swinging back left. But you do have OB on both sides, and obviously a lot of trees. That Mando preventing big hyzer.
And as low as that was, Gannon still. Still hitting the ceiling. As low as that was thrown, just low is important, but also getting the disc to move out to the right.
That was a huge skip, and looked like he just stayed about 1 meter safe.
Now, this is a very similar height, but Isaac gets the turn.
Probably a good branch, and then maybe not so good of a tree.
You think it was a good branch?
I think he was going deep, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's hit the tree with a little power. Oh, no.
Needs us to just get down.
Yeah, actually, probably the best kick you can get.
Yeah.
Kicking back out to the right. Pretty open approach from there.
You could easily imagine that kicking out of bounds if it goes to that left side. Does it have any finish? No, it does not.
Well, it has some finish.
It did at the beginning.
I was talking about the thrower.
I know.
Okay.
We all know.
At the very beginning.
Yeah, we know.
Yep, we knew a long time ago.
Okay, sorry.
I like what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I liked it too in 2015 when you guys started this.
I'm trying. Just
Didn't finish it.
yeah, didn't have enough finish on it.
But it did have some. We got to remember.
Here we go. Gannon from circle 3. I thought it was going in.
Yeah, and he's got some work to do. Man, what
Little
is it?
short arm.
The fourth? Is it the fourth or fifth? Miss.
Might be the 5th.
He missed the par putt on 2, missed the birdie putt on 4, and then 2 putts on 5, and then 1 there. That's the 5th putt we've seen him miss.
And the one that he made, or the one that he made was
one
not,
of them that he made didn't look good.
Yeah,
he didn't. Like it,
he
at
wasn't
least.
happy with it.
Yeah.
I think you were right though, Nate. You just got to find a good stroke, make one. You know, announcers in like basketball say it all the time. You just need to get a layup.
Sure.
Just build a little confidence. Get a layup, get fouled, make a free throw, a little short jump shot, anything.
Anything to stop your mind from going,
I can't do this.
I can't do it. Like anything just distract you. Just let you be in the moment. Take a nice free swing.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you start to rediscover what made you the world champion in his case.
It is so funny after a poor putting round how when you can go to the basket and then you finally can release a free putt and you're like, it's so easy. They all go in now. It's like, of course it does because you're a great player. You've put a million putts. Of course you can make them. But freeing your mind, it's so difficult to do sometimes. Gannon, although he is only ahead a few over Niklas Antila, Niklas is on the other end of the course right now. As far as people on his card, his lead is dominant. Flying over 9, par 4, 645 feet, low ceiling. The OB has been brought in a little bit on the left side. Just get through the tunnel, go up the hill, and try to avoid these last trees in the way. It's kind of hard to see this basket.
Yeah,
regardless of how good your drive is.
It really is. You have to take a pretty long walk to the right or the left to sight this thing.
Yeah, there's a little trail up there. Little golf cart trail that kind of moves up to the left. If you get in a good position, you just want to take that trail, I think is the best way to access the green.
That limb really affected Gannon's ability to get a good, clean second shot.
Bye-bye. As good as they make them right here, guys.
Yeah, right down the tunnel.
Perfect.
Drew trying to force the roller through the tight corridor. And the line, the angle, everything was beautiful, but just the last fur in the way. I would have loved to have seen what Drew would have got with that with a full roll.
Oh, no.
I think he'll good, maybe.
Wait a minute.
How flippy
Oh,
can
yes.
it be?
That did not look good at all.
That was awesome.
Out of the hand, but he knows the disc.
It was sketchy how low that was thrown, but so much trust with Joona. That was a beautiful roller.
Smoked.
Drew doing everything he can to get up there into position. That's a big shot from down there.
Looks like you might have some sort of look. Didn't get to see it finish behind that big old tree. Whoa.
Gannon just forcing a forehand up the hill, trying to avoid the trees. Does
Good.
so great.
A lot of little whiskers here for the FPO putting circle as well. So a little bit confusing sometimes. Isaac.
This looks good.
Yep.
It's in! Whoa! What a shot!
Beautiful skip on that.
That was amazing.
Yeah, watch this little skip hop right in.
Wow, what a shot from Isaac.
It makes me want to sing.
Did they like come in like at the end and go up?
Oh, he had no idea. I mean, how could he know?
Man, what a genuine reaction from Isaac, the crowd, and the commentators in the booth. A beautiful throw. That's incredible.
That's an incredible.
You're just not an eagle you just ever think you'd ever see. Oh, man, that was awesome.
Huge drive.
And the roto's kind of getting in the way of Joona's approach. He does have a look.
Clear the disc
I know, seriously,
already.
Isaac, get up the hill and take that thing out of there.
Oh, poor Drew doesn't have much here. Gonna have to.
Doesn't this feel like this has just been his round today? Just
Yeah.
a bunch of no looks from 60 feet.
That's just when you get on the bad side of the trees at this course at Glendoveer. It's going to be a lot of 50-footers
Yeah.
if you catch them coming into the green.
Absolutely.
Man, he's got a colorful scorecard.
He sure does.
What a front nine.
Yeah,
I mean, that was close to... Oh,
amazing.
Oh, I mean, just think about this. 5 putts away from shooting 9 under. And I know it sounds crazy because that's a lot of putts, but
Of course.
those were all very makeable putts. None of those were like 50-footers. Great putt from Joona. And that'll get him back to even on the front 9. But he had a look at each one of those. Ends up shooting 4 under with a bogey and a double bogey.
That sounds nearly impossible.
It's
That's
crazy to
amazing.
think.
Right.
But that's how good he's throwing the disc right now. That was incredible. Just to get through all the trees. Oh, unbelievable.
Ahead to 12 with Rick. Laying the roller needs this to curl up quick.
Curl up quick, you say?
Yeah, that's about as quick as it can be done. Beautiful shot.
Bullseye.
Little Dairy Queen action.
Explain.
Well, when you have the ice cream and it goes whoop
exactly.
at the end. Yeah.
I just want, I know, just everyone, I just want you to explain for all the people who don't know.
There's people who don't know what Dairy Queen is.
Josh. Josh had this face of what? Anyways, more Gannon Buhr domination. After the slow start, 1 over through 4. Since then, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's just not necessarily his greatest front 9, but with the lead that he's developed in the first 2 rounds, he doesn't have to shoot his greatest 9. He just has to avoid going the opposite direction, and he's got enough birdies in the front 9 to really just keep everyone at bay.
You gotta be careful though. You can't just have another lackluster 9. If you have another little 2 under, the whole field's gonna catch up, and you're gonna then have 5 or 6 or 7 people only 5 or 4 strokes back, and that's something you want to avoid, especially going into a tough day tomorrow.
What he's doing right now is he's holding off the lead card, though. And he has the most holes left of anyone on the course. and they are still not really putting that much pressure on him.
I agree, but in this day and age, lead card means nothing almost anymore.
Sure. There's obviously people shredding the course farther back. But I think, Gannon starting to round into form, and that little bit of a nervous start maybe, but if he can play to his potential, he has a potential to kind of pull hope out of the field. I mean, he has a chance to go so far clear that nobody's even really dreaming about making a move on the final day.
Well, we are halfway through the third round, moving day. 9 more holes to go. We'll see you in just a bit.